Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have completed the qualifying rounds, and now the 4 quickest drivers of nearly 24 entries will battle it out in 80 feet of 36-inch deep mud to determine the USHRA Association Midwestern Mud Racing Championship. The Psychobabble supercharged small block Chevy Jeep of the hometown boy, Minnesota's Dwayne Hirsch, will be the first one to set the pace here in this shootout round. Each of the 4 quickest drivers receives 1 run through the mud, and the quickest lap time wins the overall championship. It was Hirsch who told us that he believed his small block Jeep, which gained the pole in qualifying, had an advantage on this course. Tightening the shoulder straps as the crew chief for the Orient Express sponsored machine checks everything, shakes his hand, and sends him on his way. One man against the clock here in Minneapolis for the Super Modified Mud Racing Championship. With his arms in the air, signaling to the starting line crew that he is not touching any control while they connect the kill switch that will automatically shut all electrical systems down, including the engine, right at the 80-foot mark, enabling the driver to concentrate solely on stopping the machine. Now, inching forward into the electronic photo cells that mark the starting line. He's ready. The visor comes down. Minnesota's Dwayne Hirsch ready to assault the mud pit. On the brake hard. He stops it in time, and he knows it. A tremendous run for Hirsch. The elapsed time on the path, 2.570 seconds. He slows down just a little bit for his qualifying run, but that kind of mark will be tough to beat. The next driver up who will attempt to beat it will be the surprising Big John Daly. In his Jeep call to hang on, the Chevrolet-powered machine put down a tremendous 2.483 second elapsed time in the first round. Daly knows he must go quicker than 2.570 seconds to take over the lead. The ground crew connects that same kill switch that will shut the machine down right at the finish line. Daly knows he can go as quick as Hirsch. He went quicker than that in the qualifying round. Chevrolet power in a racing chassis equipped with the mandatory Department of Transportation approved tires. Daly ready for his shot. Purging the nitrous oxide system. That's the white vapor you see coming from the side of the machine as he rigs the nitrous oxide injection of air bubbles, and 53 degree below zero vapor emits from a check valve on the side of the machine. The extra oxygen injected into the motor hopefully will give him the power to make a shot at a title. Now he tries to stop the machine. He stops it in time, but was the elapsed time quick enough? He had to go quicker than 2.57 seconds. He runs 2.70 seconds. It won't be enough to take over the #1 spot. On the replay, the machine left the starting line beautifully. Through the shutdown, he stops it in time, and he looked happy with the run. Obviously, none of you guys are giving it an easy shot here. You're driving it out the back door.
Oh, yeah, you got it with these guys here. I'm running the carburetor in this thing. I'm beating most of the blowers, and I was running good tonight.
That's what I said. It's amazing that you would have qualified so well, only 100th behind the leader, with a machine that's probably down about 500 horsepower on some of these guys.
Well, that's not always true. It's got plenty of horsepower here. I just proved that.
Congratulations, guy. We'll see what it does.
Thank you.
Daly obviously disappointed, but very happy with the way the machine performed against some of the best in the business. That will bring up the #3 qualifier, who ran 2.50 seconds. Only 300 seconds shorter behind the #1 man in the qualifying round, Lynn Brink. And the incredible Super Trax 1932 Chevrolet Coupe, called 32 Special. A very narrow tread width with 2,000 horsepower on tap. The ground crew again connects the kill switch that is mandatory on every super modified mud racing pass throughout the USHRA Association season. And now, knowing full well that the engine will shut down without him worrying about it, Brink moves up for his shot at the title. stop in time, but a very obvious problem, maybe even an error for Lynn Brink. Afraid that he might fly it past the 80-foot distance stopping boundary, past the finish line. Brink obviously shut the engine down about 7 or 10 feet before the finish line. He was worried about the traction needed to stop at the other end. Watch the replay. And with the wheels locked up before the finish line, that appears to have been the problem.
And Lynn, I don't think I need to tell you, you may well have shut this thing down a little too early on that one.
I was worried about coming out at the end.
Everybody was worried about disqualifying. The machine seemed to hook up pretty well on the starting line, but a 294 wouldn't cut it.
Oh, well, better luck next time, I guess.
That's a tough way to go when you have to make a decision that might keep you from being disqualified that unfortunately gives you a lap time slower than needed to win. But the man who's happy about all this is Dwayne Hirsch. The hometown hitter in the Psychobabble Jeep still leads this shootout field at 2.570 seconds. And the crowd of over 40,000 need only to hold their breath for the hometown boy through one more run. Illinois' Mark Green in the brand-new Mudbuster after switching from nitrous oxide injection with his Chevrolet power plant for years. A motor strong enough to keep him in the top 10 in the World Points Championship. He has switched to a supercharger and has a huge displacement advantage over his opponent Hirsch. He must go quicker than 2.57 seconds to win. Trying to stop it in time within 2 feet of disqualification. But was it quick enough? The mark to beat 2.570. Mark Green runs 2.387 seconds. On the replay, the machine leaves the starting line perfectly. He drives it full throttle to the very end and then stops within a foot of disqualification. He knew it was a good one, and it was good enough to win. Dwayne Hirsch has to swallow his pride, getting knocked out of the #1 spot on the very last run. Unbelievable job for Mark Green. Meanwhile, back in Anaheim, California, we are ready for a showdown of monster behemoths. It'll be Jim Kramer at the wheel of the Bigfoot Ford, taking on another hometown hitter, Jim Reese, at the wheel of the Ecology Auto Wrecking Eliminator. The Z-shaped course has caused quite a few drivers to make several second guesses that cost them a run. But right now, everybody will have to go all out. They leave the line, and the whole shot goes to the hometown Chevrolet. Through the air, they head for the first turn, and a tap. They actually touch going into the first turn. Kramer, hard on the throttle, takes the turn perfectly in the blue Ford. They now move into the last turn. And they collide. Unbelievable. Kramer gets back on the gas and will cruise across the finish line, a winner in Bigfoot. But this may not be over yet. The officials are down on the track. Jim Reese is stunned. He says it was an illegal maneuver, and he's coming out of the eliminator. We'll have to wait to find out. This is a big controversy. Stay with us. We are in the middle of a huge controversy here in Anaheim, California. This is going to need a big decision. Was it rough driving? Was Bigfoot in front of the eliminator? Reese is mad. Mike Speller in front of the truck, the U.S. Hobbit Association event director, talking with officials by way of two-way radio to find out whether or not it's a legal maneuver. The whole shot definitely went to the Chevrolet. They touched there when Reese gets on the brakes too hard for the first turn. Kramer makes up this much distance, and they come out of the last turn together. Incredible. Was there a driver at fault in this situation? And we just received word from the U.S. Hobbit Association officials that Bigfoot is the winner. The win officially goes to Bigfoot. The eliminator sitting with a flattened tire. Driver Jim Reese throwing his gloves in the cockpit. The crew is upset. They say no way. Jim Kramer is out of Bigfoot, and Kris Chapman got him.
Jim, I think you heard the verdict. You are the winner.
Well, that's why we have officials. The track is really narrow over there. And we talked about this earlier at the drivers' meeting, that when you swing around like that, we've got a little more room, even if you have to drop off of that berm. It's not an ideal track, but that's what we chose to run with. It's a little tight in that area. And all night long, like I discussed with Barry Digger, that came up, just drop off that berm, give a little room. You got to give a little bit. And that's why I got officials. If they thought I was in his lane, I would be disqualified, and he would be the winner. But they judged that I was okay, and he didn't give me enough room. So it was a good run. He run hard. Jim Reese is really a good competitor, and